Hello and welcome to Data Communication and Networking Online Lecture Series. Myself Reema Rawat from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, we are going to see the last topic of the unit Local Area Network. These topics are example networks, first X.25, frame relay and ATM, and then we'll see the ISDN. Okay, so let's start with that. First one we will see X.25 and frame relay networks. So over here first is X.25. X.25 is a protocol suite defined by ITU-T, that means for telecommunication under International Telecommunication Union, for packet switch communications over WAN, that is wide area network. It was originally designed for use in 1970s and became very popular in 1980s, and presently it is used for networks for ATMs and credit card verifications. The X.25 has three protocol layers. First one is physical layer, second is data link layer, and the third one over here is packet layer, or else you can say network layer, right? So this is the X.25 protocols. Next is frame relay. Frame relay is basically a packet switch communication service from LANs, that is local area network, to backbone networks and WANs, that means wide area networks. It operates at two layers, physical layer and data link layer. So unlike frame relay, unlike X.25, which was operating in physical layer, data link layer and network layer, the frame relay operates at two layers, that are physical layer and data link layer. It supports all standard physical layer protocols as well. The essence of frame relay is that it is a connection oriented network with no control, that means no error control and no flow control. So these are the basic two parameters of frame relay. First one is it operates on two layers, that are physical layer and data link layer. And the second one is it does not provide error control and flow control. That means there is no error control and no flow control required for using frame relay. Okay. Next, an important one is ATM, which is referred to as the asynchronous transfer mode or asynchronous transfer machine. So ATM, that is asynchronous transfer mode, is a switching technique that uses time division multiplexing, that is TDM, for data communications. You all are aware of three main switching or multiplexing techniques, that are FDM, TDM and CDMA. So FDM is frequency division multiplexing, TDM is time division multiplexing, and CDMA is code division multiplexing. Okay, so asynchronous transfer mode is using multiplexing technique, which is TDM. It is a network technology that supports voice, video and data communications. The ATM encodes data into small fixed size cells so that they are suitable for TDM and transmits them over the physical medium. That means wired connections, they can be transmitted. Let us see the ATM virtual circuits. As you can see over here in this virtual circuits, at this side sending host is indicated and this side receiving host is indicated. At the sending host side, the sending process is being initiated, and at the receiving host side, receiving process is to be completed. Whenever the sending host or sender has any data to send, it will send to the virtual circuit as shown over here, which is a subnet, and the subnet is, you know, that it is the interconnection of routers and communication links, right? So here in this subnet, routers are indicated with the communication link, right? So this will select this particular path by establishing virtual circuits. So this is referred to as the ATM virtual circuit, and for that sending and receiving process is indicated. Next we will see the ATM cell, which is actually a frame structure which is having two fields. The first field in this frame structure is header, which is of 5 bytes, and the next field or second field is user data field, which is of 48 bytes. Okay, so this is the ATM cell structure or frame structure. Alright. Next we will see the ATM reference model. So over here the ATM reference model is shown. Here the front view of the ATM reference model has four main layers. As shown over here, the first layer, the below layer is physical layer. Above that there is ATM layer. Then AAL, which is also referred to as the ATM adaptation layer. And above that two upper layers are there. Alright. The side view of this model has the sub layers of this front view of the model. The top view of this model has three parts or three layers, or you can say three divisions. The first division has again two parts, among which the first one is control plane and the second one is user plane. After that, two management protocols are there. First one are for layer management and after that for plane management. So this indicates the ATM reference model. Let us revise again. The front view has the four layers: physical layer, ATM adaptation layer, upper layers, two upper layers, right? Then the top view has control plane, user plane and two managements, that are layer management and plane management. And the side view has the sub-layer projections. Alright. Now as you can see over here, the physical layer has two sub-layers which are called as TC and PMD. Among this, TC stands for Transmission Convergence Sublayer and PMD stands for Physical Medium Dependent Sublayer. This is required to remember for you. Similarly, AAL, which is referred to as the ATM adaptation layer, has again two sublayers. First one CS, which stands for Convergence Sublayer, and the second one is SAR, which stands for Segmentation and Reassembly Sublayer. Alright, so this is the ATM reference model. Now let us see the ATM layers and sublayers and their functions. So as you can see from this table, this indicates the OSI layers. The second column indicates the ATM layer. The third column indicates ATM sublayers and the last column indicates their functionality. So let's start. So first OSI layer, third and fourth, that means your data link layer and network layer. And above that transport layer, that means when you are considering the layer 3 and 4, that are the network layer and transport layers. In that, ATM layer has AAL, which is ATM adaptation layer. In that, the sublayers are CS and SAR, which provides the standard interface for convergence, and SAR provides the segmentation and reassembly. The OSI layer 2 and 3, that means data link layer and network layer, has the ATM for flow control, cell header generation or extraction, virtual circuit or path management, and cell multiplexing or demultiplexing functions. Next is OSI layer 2, that is your data link layer, and the OSI layer 1, that is your physical layer. For that, TC and PMD are there respectively. In TC, the main functions are cell rate decoupling, header checksum generation and verification. After that, cell generation, then packing or unpacking cells from enclosing envelope, which includes the data. Then there is frame generation, and after that, bit timing and physical network accesses are there in PMD. Okay, so these are the ATM layers, sublayers with their functions. According to that, their OSI layers. Alright. Next is ISDN. So here ISDN stands for Integrated Service Digital Network. ISDN was first defined in the CCITT Red Book in 1988. It is a telephone network based infrastructure that allows the transmission of voice and data simultaneously at a high speed with greater efficiency. So whenever efficiency is the criteria, ISDN is used widely. This is a circuit switch telephone network system which also provides access to packet switch networks. Now what are the circuit switching, packet switching and message switching we have seen in the previous sessions in the switching concept. Now let us see the model of a practical ISDN. So this indicates the model of practical ISDN. So here as you can see, these are the two ISDNs connecting the different AND devices. They are switched to the another device to get the data transmission completed, and here this indicates the packets which are traveling through the network, and this indicates the private line through which the data is to be transmitted privately. This is the model of a practical ISDN that is being used. Now let us see the various services which ISDN provides. So ISDN supports variety of services which are: first one, voice calls, that means to make the voice calls ISDN is useful. Next is video text, after that teletext, electronic mail, that means emails, database access, data transmission and voice, connection to the internet, electronic fund transfer, image and graphics exchange, document storage and transfer, audio and video conferencing, automatic alarm services to fire stations, police and medical services. So these are the various services which ISDN provides and the list of it. So these are the basic services which ISDN provides. These are the references. Here the chapter number 5, local area network from your GTO syllabus is completed now. In the next session we will move further and we will see the next chapter, that is network layer, in which we will see different routing algorithms, the congestion policies according to which the basic roles or basic design issues of the network layer, and to control the different congestions when the network has the congestion occurrence. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening.